What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll shill them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. Links in the description below. Check them out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, Clayboyne, our DAO project manager, has put together a post covering everything that the DAO has done in terms of like a year-end project status update. So I thought this would be good to cover. I know there's not necessarily any new information here if you've been following closely, but there are a lot of folks that are returning. There are a lot of folks that might be new to the game, or people that are just having more of a casual kind of experience and not necessarily watching every video and keeping up with every single update. So I thought this was a good kind of wrap up for 2024 from Clayboyne. I'm just going to go over it briefly. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, and then just share some thoughts about where I see things with the DAO moving forward in 2025. So you can see here that Clay lists out four main things that the DAO is responsible for or became responsible for over the course of this past year. You have validators at the top. Number 2 is land. Number 3 is the Soulkeep partnership. And then number 4 is the Rebellion set, as well as the upcoming card sales and Conclave Arcana core set, which will be coming up in April or so. So you can see here that let's start with the validators, right? So we voted to hire JPTR Corp, which were engineers or developers that were part of the team. Now, I guess this is more so like a hybrid type of situation. We have paid out $160,000 out of the allocated budget of $480. So we're about 1/3 of the way through, if my rough math is right. So development has been progressing right now. So the validator code has been made open source, and currently the team is working in a closed test environment to prepare the network. There have been a few community members that have volunteered to help with closed testing, but we could use a few more. So if anybody's interested, check it out and let them know. This project has been a massive undertaking, and it will also currently prepare the Splinterlands backend to run with the validator network. So after the network is launched, there will still need to be work done to build out additional functionality. We could look at setting up our own bridges to BSC, ETH, and other chains. Now, what he didn't put here is the fact that they are planning for this to go live in January. So that is coming up in the next month or 45 days or month and a half, whatever it is. So I would say let's keep an eye out for this, because this could move the needle for us quite significantly if we can get validators up and running and then look like a legitimate project or a legitimate DAO with a legitimate token. So that's the first thing that came in line about 4 months ago in 2024 for validators. Now, secondly, we did take on Cryptomancer's salary for land. So basically the DAO hired Cryptomancer. So we're paying for his salary. The team is no longer paying that salary. And to date, we've paid out $25,000 out of the maximum allocated budget of $172,000. That's over the course of an entire year, of course. Cryptomancer has remained under budget for both of the billable months so far. So we're very we're not very far into this in terms of it's just been a couple of months since that time frame. Now, he is also, and I think this is kind of new or news, although not surprising, but he will be out of the office for most of December. I'm recording this on December 6th, right? So he'll be out of the office for most of December and some of January for vacation. So that's pretty much a month there that we wouldn't have to worry about paying him. But also, I don't know what that means for land 1.75 getting out in early Q1. That's a little disappointing, because we're probably looking at mid to late Q1 at this point if Cryptomancer is going to be out for an entire month. So we've been getting weekly updates from Cryptomancer and Land Baron's channel as he preps for the 1.75 release. So far, we know that there are 3 new work sites and resources that are complete. Cryptomancer has been reworking the land liquidity pools. So when he does the next update, I will make sure to cover that here. But yeah, he's been updating us. We're seeing it move. Obviously, I'd love to see this get out earlier in Q1 rather than later. We'll see where things go. We've got a target release. We haven't gotten a target release date for land 1.75 yet, but development is coming along. With Cryptomancer being off for much of the next month, there likely won't be much progress before February, but the DAO won't be billed for that time either. So, I'm not worried about the DAO getting billed. I just want land out 1.75. So, I guess February February is like the stretch date. Most likely will be March or later, which, we were looking for what's the thing that's not going to make it in Q1. I'm thinking land now. So sorry, nothing against Cryptomancer. I mean, he's been working hard, so he's going to take his vacation. But if we're just looking at this from a timing standpoint, there's a lot of other things the team's going to be focused on. I don't know if they're going to want to do exactly what they did a year ago, where it's just like Land comes out one week and then Conclave Arcana comes out the next week. That would be a little wild. So my expectation is that's going to get booted over to Q2. Okay, number 3, Soul Key partnership. Now this has been a little contentious. All right, so we voted on this a long time ago, but basically there was a team allocated supply of tokens, which we decided not to, to take away from the team. It was a team suggestion, right? Because I think for legal reasons they were not collecting it anyway. So that allocation was changed to Soulkeep for 65 million SPS over the course of 65 months. So after a prolonged development standstill, we all know what happened. Soulkeep finally launched earlier this year. The SPS DAO approved a proposal to clarify the partnership and expectations of how Double Coconut could return value. So they started burning DEC, and they're implementing a SPS staking mechanism. Actually, that might already be implemented for the higher levels. So at this point, there isn't much to report. As he says, Double Coconut has burned over 3.2 million DEC. That is not a lot. That is actually very, very little. But that comes from the sale of tournament tickets and soul boxes. So there are currently over 4,000 players. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe 4,000 accounts have played it, but 200, 300 currently active in the tournaments. That sounds more right. After the reset. So the CEO has done multiple AMAs with our community and says they're working on establishing partnerships to bring Soulkeep to Web2 marketplaces to grow the player base and reach new audiences. They feel this is the best way to bring in new players, and I agree. So this is why I just want this game to continue, because I want them to push this out to the masses, because they do have that leverage. They do have those connections in Web2, and we've seen it with the previous successful projects that they've had Web2 based, right? So I would love to see people come into Soulkeep just to check it out, try it, and then hopefully get kind of Web3 pilled, for lack of better words, once they're in the ecosystem. And then finally, we have the Rebellion set, which is coming to a close here in the next couple of weeks. And then, of course, the other card sales, which are currently the promo cards that are on sale, and then the upcoming Conclave Arcana. So in October 2023, we partnered with them. The DAO paid $250,000 to develop and sell the set, and then received 50% revenue share for the entire pack sale. Like I said, that is coming to a close, but to date, the DAO has received over 1.95 billion DEC from Rebellion pack sales. So that's been a pretty good return or ROI at this point. Now, the DAO chose to reinvest some of that DEC into another partnership with Splinterlands to create a series of promo cards as the Hall of Legends. So we paid 600 million DEC up front for the creation. There's 5 phases, and then, of course, I think we're also doing the auction. How much we've done? Oh, see, the Hall of Legends has already captured 416 million, and then the auction house has captured another 48. So we're closing in on breaking even on this trade. Obviously, we want to go well past 600 million. I think we'll do it. I think the auction is probably going to be the thing that really pushes us over. And I don't know that we're going to go over that much, but at the very end of the day, it's like it brought some cards into the game. Even if we just, I know people are going to disagree with this, but even if we just ran, even if we were just running in place, right? We put out 600 million, and then we're going to put another 600 million, maybe 700 million back. There was a lot of hopefully market activity, right, that ended up burning some DEC. There was just volume, right, trading back and forth. So I think ultimately it's not the perfect solution, but it was something that ended up being hopefully good for us, even if we were just kind of paddling in place. So the remaining 75% of the auction house sales are still to come. Yeah, we're only about 25% of that. And then there's still 2 final waves of Hall of Legends, of which I think we're already in the 4th one. So and then the SPS DAO has agreed to pay for the development of the next core set. In fact, we've already paid for that, another 600 million DEC. But if we manage to sell a similar amount of packs, we should make 3 to 4x return on the DEC via the 50% revenue share model. So that is where the DAO is at. We've been taking in money, and then we've been spending it. We've been taking in money and spending it. So, I expect this to continue in 2025, but I think the big question and the big hurdles that we're going to have to tackle next year, especially if we start getting into interesting territory with DEC and SPS, DEC staying at peg, SPS potentially rising, is should the DAO, and when should the DAO start selling some of that back into the marketplace for stablecoins, right? USDC, USDT, whatever it is that people want or feel comfortable with. But we want to be able to have some stables only when we feel the market is starting to get frothy. Now, the issue with this is that it takes the DAO such a long time to make decisions, and everybody can front run the DAO. So I would really like to establish something. And I don't know if Clay's working on this. Maybe I'll reach out to him. But like, it would be great if it's just like, hey, if SPS hits X, right? 5 cents, we sell a little bit. If SPS hits 10 cents, we sell a little bit, or for however much it goes up, right? Maybe we're just DCAing out of our DEC and maybe SPS position. I know it's not great. We shouldn't be selling SPS because SPS is what we want for the future. But if things are pretty high, then I would say, it's probably worth our while to consider selling some of our positions, whether it's SPS or whether it's some of the other crypto that we have. But again, I'm not saying that this is a very incomplete, not well thought out, suggestion. All I'm saying is we need to think about it, right? I'm not saying we should actually do that and sell a bunch of SPS at 5 cents. So please don't take that and run with it. My whole point is that we should be thinking ahead. We are now hopefully, in the final stretch of what is hopefully a bull run here. So within the next 12 months, we're gonna have to make a decision and start acting on those decisions. And the last thing I want is for us to be caught either in a position where we cannot make decisions because people keep voting down things, or we're just very reactionary to the market and we get front run by ourselves and anybody that wants to, that's paying attention to whatever the DAO is doing. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.